This week on the Music Biz Weekly podcast, we're joined by Sammy Kaufman from Linktree. We get a great update on a lot of the fairly recent features and a little bit of a tease as to some new features that are rolling out on Linktree. But listen to this. You're gonna walk away from this episode learning something new and a little bit more excited about using Linktree. This is a good episode for everybody, from the Rob Zombies of the world to the brand new band of the world. Everybody should be using Linktree.
Welcome to the Music Biz Weekly podcast, celebrating over 15 years and over 600 weekly episodes, where Michael Brandvold and Blasco, two longtime music industry pros, discuss the very latest trends, tools and tactics that you need to succeed in this new music business.
The Music Biz Weekly podcast has moved to a brand new YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss future episodes. Visit www.musicbizweeklypodcast.com, subscribe on YouTube, follow and rate us on Spotify, subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We appreciate your support.
Hey, Music Biz Weekly podcast. We're back. Took 1 week off. It was spring break last week. Had to do the family thing. Went down to San Diego. But this week, we've got a returning guest. We were just, before we hit the record, we were like, when was the last time you were on? I thought it was a lot longer ago, but Sammy Kaufman from Linktree said it was probably within the last 5 years. So I'll believe you. I'll believe you, Sammy. Sammy, your full title is what with Linktree?
These days, my full title is Head of Music Partnerships at Linktree.
Okay. So you basically are responsible for making sure artists, musicians, bands know what they're doing with Linktree.
Yeah, absolutely.
How to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I think like many companies, people are always like, you wear a lot of hats, but to me, the main goal is to ensure that artists are using Linktree and using Linktree well. I know we talked about this even before we clicked record, but there is a misconception on what Linktree is. And I think a lot of people end up signing up, paying for it, and then not using it to its full advantage. So that's my job, is to help educate that.
Well, let's make sure people are clear in understanding what Linktree is. I mean, it's not the old school, oh, you can't put links in Instagram, so you tell people to click the Linktree link, click the link in bio, and there you go. That's how you started. That's how Linktree started. But you've evolved way past just being a list of links.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the same way that artists are now not just on Instagram and their audience is not just on Instagram, you're focused on TikTok, you're focused on X, you're focused on YouTube. Linktree has expanded to support that entire social ecosystem. So you're completely right. We started as truly a list of links to solve that problem of, I can only click out to one thing in Instagram. And now we really like to think of ourselves as this hub of everything you would ever need as an artist. So think integrations with music platforms, integrations with tour management platforms, with YouTube, audience collection tools that are native within Linktree. If you need to do something, whether you're day one as an artist or, so seasoned, it's something that we can help with.
I've recently dived into using much more of the Linktree features recently. Mainly because I was migrating away from another music landing page platform. And to Linktree's credit, which I really like, you do, and again, there's a free level and there's a paid level. And I'm kind of looking at this right now through the glasses of, well, how much can you do before you start spending money?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of artists want to know if it's going to be worth their investment before they make the investment.
Totally.
And Linktree offers basic music landing page. I mean, give us your URL to Spotify and here's the list. We found it on all these other digital services out here. Boom, there you go. Done. And that's a free service right within Linktree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So what you're referring to is our Music Smart Link technology, and it's exactly that. You can copy and paste a URL from any of the major streaming services. We'll find that streaming service for you. We'll create like a beautiful module within your link tree. So your fans, regardless if they're Spotify people, Apple people, Deezer people, Tidal people, like they can listen to where you're putting music out.
And what's really nice is it's so easy to just add an additional link. And
Hmm.
this is a problem I've always run into. I'm sure Blasco, you run into this too. It's like, all right, well, this artist release is available on some weird third party CD online store.
Totally.
And it's like, all right, well, it ain't showing up in these other music platform services. And getting them to add it just for you doesn't really happen. But within Linktree, I can just copy and paste anybody's URL, drop it in there, and now, sure, I've got all the major
Mhm.
services. But sure, I can now add a third party that most people don't know of, but you want to send traffic to it. So it's very easy to do that within the Linktree world, which as a marketing person, I really love because my time is valuable.
For sure.
And I'm sitting here going, oh God, now it's going to take me 3 days to get somebody to add a one-off link for me
Hmm.
versus I can get it done in 30 seconds within the Linktree world. And I'm done and off to something else that's important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like the other thing to think about too is I get this question all the time where it's, we already have a website. Do we need a link tree? Or hey, can Linktree be a website substitute? The answer is like yes to both. Like you can Linktree is made for mobile, right? So Linktree is you're trying to take advantage of every person that comes to your Instagram, comes to your TikTok in that small moment of time. You have this window, maybe they're discovering you for the first time, and you want to direct them to something that is easily accessible, easily clickable, and that you control. So I always talk about Linktree as, yes, you can have a website. Website is great. But your Linktree is like your snapshot of your website. It is a highlight reel. I think especially for a lot of these artists that we're seeing having these big viral moments on TikTok that are unpredictable, it pains my heart when you see that they don't have anything in their link in bio because the attention span of all of us is getting shorter and shorter every day. And if you make it harder than one click to figure out where your music is, how to learn more about you, to sign up to your mailing list, you've probably already lost half the people that were interested in the first place.
It's interesting that the phrase like link in bio has only been in the vernacular, which feels like for a short amount of time. Like, like you probably saw that shift happen over the course of 5 years being there. Like, I just remember it wasn't that long ago that someone was like, link in bio, I don't even know what that means.
Hmm.
Right. Whereas now it's relatively unescapable for the average kind of social media vertical user. But like Linktree kind of there was this other thing that happened kind of recently or whatever. Someone was trying to like micromanage the situation and was like, well, it's too old school to put link in bio in your caption. And I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I go, how else would you know? But case in point, though, is that I use Linktree over the course of a lot of different artists, freemium and premium versions, right? So I can kind of speak on both sides.
Yeah.
But a freemium version that I used because some other micromanager said actually that the Linktree was a quote unquote mess. And I was like, I don't even know what that means because the how the Linktree looks, even from the freemium model, there's so much functionality of what can be done in terms of like putting the video, for instance, linking
Hmm.
the YouTube video and actually watching the video on the Linktree without having to spin off to YouTube itself, right? That's even on the freemium model.
Yeah.
But and just the functionality of all the color coding that you can use and the fonts and everything, just like how in depth that you can make it aesthetically pleasing, even on the freemium model, is awesome. But anyway, long story short is to misprove my micromanagers is that when I went and looked at the analytics on the freemium model, mind you, to be able to look at the analytics, my click-through rate was 101%, which means
Mhm.
that everyone that goes to the link tree from the phrase link in bio, every single person clicks on
Yeah.
a link, right? So it is not wasted effort. The idea of putting link in bio in your caption is certainly not outdated, right? And so anyway, I just kind of wanted to kind of give you a little bit of Linktree, some praise from there. But I'm primarily talking about the freemium model. So anyone
Mhm.
kind of wanting to use it, I'm just saying that the functionality of even that level is pretty intense.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's always our goal. Like we are creator first. Our three founders of Linktree all come from music. And so there is just like this absolute ethos of like wanting to help artists. Um, like you said, you can link, we have unlimited links. You can link as many things as you want. The biggest difference when people ask me between our free version and our paid version is you have access to more analytics. So under free, you're always going to see total views, total clicks, your click-through rate, which is helpful and is also always a helpful tool to convince external partners of your worth. Like it's unfortunate, but you do have to be like, hey, look, my link tree or this song drove X amount of clicks in this time period. People care, people are interested. Under our paid tiers, you get super, super rich analytics. So you're able to see every person who comes into your link tree, what country they're in, what city they're in, what are people clicking on the most in certain time periods. You can customize the date range. You can go as far back as 365 days. You can collect emails and phone numbers. That actually is part of our free version, but then being able to export that to maybe a MailChimp or a third party CRM, that's on our paid. But it's like we were talking about this before. I think it's a great place to start. And when it feels like everything can be so overwhelming and you're truly just trying to figure out what the right thing to do is, having something in your bios that you own and control, and can be a representation of you as an artist and as a brand, I always think is a no-brainer and the most important thing.
My favorite feature on the premium model
Hmm.
is being able to automate the on and off of a link.
Yeah.
Because whenever you've got, Michael, like you've got something dropping at 9 a.m. on Friday. So you have to coordinate 10 things that are all going to be active at 9 a.m. Whereas Linktree, the premium model, you can actually set it to turn on that link at 9 a.m. on Friday. But then the additional aspect of it that I like is that link doesn't necessarily need to be up
Hmm.
always, right? Like some links are, the usefulness expires after a while. And kind of like what you were saying is we realize that Linktree isn't always necessarily top of mind to everyone. What's cool is whenever you're setting that up, you can actually schedule it to turn off at a certain
Right.
time. So I appreciate that feature.
Yeah, that's a fan favorite. That's called Scheduling Link. We have like a lot of little tricky fun things. We also have the ability, I think this is new since we last discussed or last caught up, but we have the ability to generate short links directly within your link tree. So back in
Yep,
the
I've
day,
noticed that.
yeah. Yeah, we call them tree links. They're basically like for everyone listening, if you're familiar with like a bit.ly link, it's just a shortened link. And we'd have people, this is such a theme, but we'd have people use Linktree, pay for Linktree, and then go to a third party to do this other feature or this other functionality. But yeah, so now you can actually generate short links for any of your links. It's completely free. And then the benefit there is, let's say you are releasing music, right? Or you're releasing music on a Friday and you want to just send everyone to that link. You don't want people to be distracted by the full Linktree landing page, your merch, your sign up, whatever. You can generate that tree link, put it in like a link sticker in an Instagram story, and say, hey, pre-save my music or go stream my music. And it's the best of both worlds because you're automatically sending everyone directly to that end link, that music pre-save, that release. But we're also tracking all of that traffic for you in like your Linktree hub. So you're not fragmenting any of your data. And then under our pro version, you can actually customize what that tree link, that URL says. So typically it just is like tr.ee with backslash and then a series of random numbers and letters. Under Pro, which in theory is it's like $12 a month. So that you can customize that. So I could say, tree backslash Sammy's music or whatever is available. So there's a lot you can do with just like short linking now.
I also wanted to add real quickly that
Yeah.
part of the premium is you also get incredible customization of your landing page.
Yeah.
I mean, the freemium version, some basic stuff, and I've never had a freemium client where they're like, no, I just can't make this visually work. It's like the
Yeah.
basics are all there. You can put in your own header, your own profile, your own copy, all that stuff in the free version. But if you really wanted to get into a deep branding,
Yeah.
the paid version allows you to customize everything when it comes to the visuals.
Yeah, and I think when you see artists in the wild using Linktree, like a Billie Eilish or like a Sabrina Carpenter, like they're obviously on our pro or premium tier. But I think I've never worked with an artist in my life that isn't super particular about what something looks like, especially if it's representing them. And so we've even added some newer features where you can have video backgrounds for your full link tree. You can have a big blown up hero image for your profile picture. You can have videos for your profile picture. So in a world of, trying not to recreate the wheel, you can just upload whatever you've used for your Spotify Canvas, your Apple Motion right into Linktree. And we have these features now that will automatically match everything for you. So you upload a press image, the album asset will identify the colors, will recommend which colors to use that are already in your image. So again, it's just like this theme of how do we make this as easy as possible for the artist.
And I'm no tech wizard by any stretch. And I use Linktree across, like I said, many, many accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that it is, and sometimes I think maybe we take this idea for granted, but like it is extremely intuitive. Like because
Yeah.
everything that you just said would make a normal person's head explode of like, that sounds so complicated. Like I'm going to sign up for this thing and I got another username and password and I got to spend another in the subscription fee or whatever. And I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to be like overwhelmed by the amount of tech X's and O's that I need. And it ain't that. Like it is so intuitive to use. I just wanted to mention that for anyone listening or watching, that it is not as complicated as it may sound, or it's not complicated at all.
I would add, Blasco, that these features are not buried deep through click, 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 click. They're easily right there. I mean, that's what I love about it. Again, is I've only got so much time in a day to do the marketing for clients. It's like, yeah, if I got to log in here and then go here and then dive down here and then find that link buried in the footer to get me to that feature, it's like, I will forget. I just will forget. And it's not that case. And, I want to mention a couple other features that have been around. I don't know how long, but they've been around for a while. First of all, complete integration with Bands in Town.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put your Bands in Town URL, and now you can have all your tour dates open up and display right there. Shopify integration. Yeah. So you can actually have if you've got an online store in Shopify, which, let's be honest, in this day and age, if you're not using Shopify, you're kind of hurting yourself in a lot of ways, because Shopify integrates into Spotify and other players out there. You can have your Shopify products and store right within your Linktree, which again sort of adds to that concept of, is this a website? Can it be my website? Well, yes, it can, because you can have your tour dates here. You can have your store here. You can have your music here. You can have all your videos here. And it can all be engaged right within Linktree, not forcing you to just click a link to go to somewhere else.
Yeah, a couple of things to add too to that. Since we last spoke, we've updated our tour integration in general. So yes, we have the integration with Bands in Town. We also now have one with Seated. And back in the day when we first spoke, it would only automatically pull in the upcoming 6 shows that you have. Now it pulls in all of the upcoming shows you have, whether it's Seated or Bands in Town. And then you also can talk as the visitor, as the fan on a link tree. You'll see there's a little toggle on button where it says shows. Look, maybe it's like see shows near me. And it will toggle on, and you can see, oh, wow, like this, I live in LA. Oh, this artist is playing this festival in Pasadena. Fantastic. So it just like makes it a lot easier. And then for merch, yeah, we have a full dedicated, you can have like a shop tab. So where you would have your main links, there's also a shop tab. And then in a lot of the places that we work or we artists that we work with, sometimes that's a bit fragmented where the person who's doing e-com is not the person who's doing digital. And so it's hard to integrate Shopify in theory. And so you can even just copy and paste a product link to Linktree and we'll scrape everything for you. So we'll scrape that image, the title of the product. So we're just trying to make it, again, like how many times can I say this? I'm like a broken record, but just making it as simple and easy as possible.
I have a random question
Yeah.
that maybe is on other people's minds, but like, why do you think that Instagram allowed Linktree to build its business within their business with
Mm.
seemingly not a whole lot of resistance or friction? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. We drive a lot of traffic back to the platforms. So even in the early days when Linktree was mostly on Instagram, Linktree was still in YouTube, it was on Tumblr, it was in Twitter. And so when we talk to these platforms, we obviously have great relationships with all of them. We have an Instagram integration where you can actually fully integrate your whole feed, your whole profile with and Linktree. But point is, we're driving all this traffic back to them. And we're also highlighting Instagram within Linktree. So we will always, I think, have this ethos of, no one's sure there's some competitors, but the social platforms are not our competitors. We want to continue to drive people back to those platforms. And now I think it's even just become better because, if people are discover that you're an artist and your audience is primarily on TikTok, but you want to, of course, cross-pollinate and drive your TikTok audience to Instagram or to a YouTube. That's really where Linktree is like the magic wand because that's a tool that we can then say back to Instagram, hey, don't you want this TikTok audience on Instagram? And we always like to mention too that the person who follows you on TikTok is probably not the person who's following you on Instagram, who's not the person who's following you on X. So as much as you can cross-pollinate that audience, the better off you are.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
I think we should make quick mention, and I know you mentioned it real briefly, the email integration.
Mm,
You
yeah,
can basically ask fans to sign up to an email list. Now, the deeper integration is with certain email platforms, you can directly integrate with them and send that email sign up straight to MailChimp or whoever it is.
yeah,
But if you don't have one of those platforms, your link tree will just gather all these email addresses behind the scenes, which you could then export out and import into Bands in Town or whoever else you might be using
yeah.
as your email system.
Yeah, you've said it perfectly. I think, and that's a free feature. So like as in collecting those emails is an
Yep.
absolute free feature. And so we've seen this, we've seen ours just collect them passively. And I always recommend that. And yeah, we have integrations with MailChimp, Klaviyo, Kit, Google Sheets. We also have an integration with Universal Music Group CRM, and then we also have an integration with Laylo. So there's a lot of, like I said, like we kind of play like nice in the sandbox. Like we want you to use whatever your preferred platform is, because we are not a full email marketing suite by any means, but you'll hear everyone say this across like every panel, every conference, but it's so important to own your audience. And have control of that email list. And we've also integrated some new features that are free as well that make it a bit more fun and a bit more gamified to collect those emails and phone numbers. So, for example, you can now actually upload exclusive content to your Linktree as an artist. So, think audio file, video file, image file. We've done this a few different times with artists where they're planning to release a song on a Friday, but they want a fun way to kind of tease it or reward their fans. And they've uploaded a 10-second, just like voice note, like demo of that song. And fans have, 2 days to sign up and download that. And so, they have to input their email or their phone number in order to gain access to that. And we've seen really great success from it. We've even seen people upload handwritten lyrics, and folks have downloaded that. And I've had the same hesitation where I'm like, is someone really going to download like a scanned handwritten lyric? People do. Like people, if people love you, they're going to download something that is unique to your process. So again, that's been a new feature that we've released, just being able to upload that exclusive content that we've seen a lot of artists.
Is that a paid function or a freemium function?
That is free. Yeah.
Wow, good for you. I mean, I love that. I love that. I mean, there's so many players out there and just doing various services that give you so little in a freemium version of their platform
Yeah.
that you can't really get a feel for what you could potentially do with it.
Right.
And they want you to pay. And then it's like, well, now I'm committed. But I, I am more likely to recommend somebody go to a premium version after we've sort of kicked all the tires on the freemium and got everything we can out of it. It's like, all right, you've been using the heck out of this.
Yeah.
Now you want to go to the next level. Now it's worth spending, what you said, the $12 a month to go
Yeah.
up to a premium version.
Totally. And even our cheapest, we've changed our tiers since we last spoke. So I think back in the day we just had free and we had pro. Now we technically have 4 tiers, but there is a starter version which is in between free and pro, and that's $6 a month. And that gives you access to like the scheduling link that Blasco mentioned, gives you access to more customization. And I think even that is a good starting point where you're like, all right, let me see how much I get from this. And I get it, money in this economy, like I get it, but ultimately I think $6 once a month for what you're getting to grow your career is worth at least testing out.
Yeah. Sammy, before we wrap up here, is there anything new that's coming down the road that you can tease us with, hint about, anything that, whether it's music related or just an overall cool new feature?
Yeah, we are working on a few features that will allow your fans to engage a bit more. I can't share all of them, but one of the ones that I'm really excited about is a live poll. So think about, you're using your Linktree QR code, you're doing a performance, you put the QR code up on stage, or maybe the QR code is at your merch booth and you're asking your fans, hey, what song do you want me to play for my encore tonight? Or, who should I shout out or anything like that. In order to submit to the poll, you can probably see this coming. You have to enter your email or phone number. So just like a fun way to collect fan information, but then that poll is live. So once I submit it, I am seeing in real time who is voting for what. And I think that is such a fun thing to do. We've done similar things in the past with some third-party integrations, but we're really definitely focused on, unique ways to engage your fans. And then the second thing I wanted to mention, which is coming out very soon, it's probably already available on your Linktree, is we have integrated what we call like our insights chat to your analytics. So
Yeah, I've seen the messages popping
yeah,
up, and I'm like, I don't know what this is yet. I'll have to dig into it a little bit later.
it's like it truly is a way when you go to your analytics and you're like, I don't know what this is. We're like, I don't know. Like, cool, here's a bunch of numbers. This seems good, this seems bad, but I don't know what to do with this or what to make of this or what my next steps are. our insights chat, you can ask that. It's basically like me in chat form, except like if I had all the bandwidth to answer everyone's questions. So like we give you prompts, but you could ask, hey, what link performed the best over this time period? Or you could ask, hey, how do I get more traffic to my link tree? Or you can say, hey, what countries are driving the most traffic to my link tree? And I think it just makes it a lot easier than having to kind of thumb through everything and export that data. So definitely test it out. It's a new feature that we're really excited about.
Is there a most requested feature that you haven't got around to yet? I think years ago we were chatting and I had a requested feature of, at the time, whenever you ran multiple accounts, you couldn't connect them. I had to log out of one to log back into
Yep.
another. And you guys fixed that because
Mhm.
I was complaining about it. That and but
Thank you, Blasco. Thank you for complaining
yes.
about it. That was the
Yes.
same thing I was always
And
dealing with.
but is there currently a requested feature that you guys haven't got around to yet?
I feel like my feature requests are so biased because I obviously work within music and Linktree is so much beyond music. I get it's a great question. I get people wanting to upload custom fonts a lot. Like they want to upload their own
Oh,
font that's
interesting.
branded to them, which we can't really do just due to like the licensing restrictions and the cost around that, frankly. I'm trying to think what I've gotten recently. It's usually just integrations, people wanting more integrations with more platforms, which we are never against. It's just a matter of how do we build that into the platform.
Got it. Yeah. Well,
Well, to that point, you know, I'm I'm a big lover of bands in town, which is
Hmm.
more than just tour dates. I mean, I
Yeah.
try and get artists, put your email list over there.
Hmm.
What about an integration to get the email addresses directly into bands in town?
Yeah. I mean, in theory, I don't see why we couldn't do that. Right now it's what you described before, where you collect them, then you export them. Um, but we're open. I mean, Bands in Town's already a partner, so it's not impossible by any means.
yeah, like I love Linktree. I tried to use a competitor once, not that long ago. And I don't remember why I got talked into it. I think it was because they maybe had integrations with other aspects of things that we were using or something.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay. And like aesthetically, it had a different kind of layout. Like it moved more vertical instead of, or it moved more horizontal instead of vertical or something.
Hmm.
Um, and but I was like, this is not intuitive. Like
Yeah,
whenever I go in there to try and add a video, I do not know how to do, like, you know what I mean? Like
totally.
there was just things about it that made it complicated. And so I put Linktree back in and I haven't regretted it for a minute. And it feels like every time I log in, which is pretty often, feels like there's a new feature or like a feature has been fine tuned a
Yeah.
little bit, like always. But I speak very highly of Linktree, and if you're any level of artist, I highly recommend using it because of the fact that it is so intuitive, it is so easy, and for the amount of features that you get, even a higher tier is worth it. Like, I mean, because you can sell your merch, right? Like you can
Yeah.
analytically see that I've easily paid for $12 a month if you sell one t-shirt.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty easy payment to justify.
The other thing too that I think is interesting, and we've seen some just like in general interesting data on this, where, a lot of artists think, okay, the peak of my traffic is going to be when I have a music release. Like that's when people are coming to my link in bio. That's when people are clicking into my music. And that is true to an extent, but what people don't realize is sometimes they're going to click into the music, but then they end up clicking into merch or they click into tour dates. We are consistently seeing tour dates outperforming streaming links on Linktree, regardless of like what time period that's in. Like, for example, we could have a tour announced 2 months ago, and then there's music, and and we see that peak of traffic for that music release, but more people, for the most part, are going back and clicking into that tour date in that same period of the music release. And so the reason why I bring that all up is because anything you're releasing, whether it's merch, tour dates, music, is a promotional tool to cross-pollinate to whatever else you have in your link tree. And I just think that's like the importance of using our integrations, of using a link in bio tool, having something very simple and clean. So when you go to the link tree, most of the time you don't know that your favorite artist is touring, which is a bigger problem. So the more you can show where you're showing up, the more successful you'll be across your entire music ecosystem.
My last question is, could you have trademarked link in bio?
Hindsight is 2020. Also, what's so funny is one of the first rounds of merch we made at Linktree were just hats that said link in bio.
So
Smart.
great.
Yeah, and I still feel like we're the original link in bio, although there
You
are,
are. You created it. You created that. I mean, you are so, and it's funny. I mean, I'm sure you guys both see this all the time, and it just drives me nuts when people have their Instagram posts automatically share to their Facebook post. And the description that comes up on Facebook is click link in bio for more information. Yeah. I can't tell you guys how many times I reply a comment. I go, there's no link in bio on Facebook. Just put the link in, people.
Yeah. It pains my heart not to like go on a tangent, but sometimes the other things that pain my heart is when I go to an artist's Instagram or TikTok and they have a long, ugly like Spotify link or SoundCloud link or YouTube link. And I'm like, no one knows what this is. Like, no one knows what you're clicking on. That's the other thing about Linktree. I'm like, people know what Linktree is. There is like a safety to Linktree. You know what you're going to get.
Yep.
But a lot of certain artists, I see it where I'm like, I don't even know what this YouTube link is. Why would I click this? And this looks so ugly. So I could go on a tangent, but that's just, use a link in bio, please, for my own sanity. I would really appreciate it.
Agreed.
So Sammy, I mean, for people who don't know,
yeah,
where do they go to get more information on Linktree, to sign up? Where do you want to direct listeners to?
Yes. Head to Linktree /music on Linktree. And so that's linktr.ee/music on Linktree. That'll be the best place to see all of our music features, to download our music deck, to reach out to me. If for some reason those are too many letters and words, just type in Linktree.
Just click the link in bio, people.
Just literally type in Linktree, you'll see it. And then that's your best bet. But we're there, we're here, and I'm here. So if you need any help in music, I'm your girl.
That's awesome. It. I mean, again, thumbs up. Linktree needs to be part of your marketing suite of tools. I've actually created, whenever I have an announcement of something, whether it's a video, a single, an album, a tour, whatever, I've got an announcement checklist. Blasco, sort of what you were alluding to. Oh, on Friday, you got all these things to remember. Well, in that checklist, along with new Facebook header, new Twitter header, new YouTube header, make that video public when it's been sitting there private. I have a checklist item of update your Linktree. That to me is as important as updating everything else in your online world. Make sure you update your Linktree. Put the new link in there. If you're not paying for the scheduling feature, just go in there, add the new link. That's got to be part of your announcement, checklist routine nowadays.
Yeah, listen to Michael, everyone. Listen to us.
Yeah. So, Sammy, thank you so much for sitting down with us, updating us on what's new, what's coming. You're always welcome to come back if you've got a new, especially a music related feature that you want to get out there. Hit us up. We'd be happy to have you back on. And, Blasco and I love it. Linktree is great. You got to be using it.
Yep.
Thanks
Great
so
to see
much.
you. Thanks for
Always
coming
good to
on.
see you.
Yeah. Good catching up.
Thank you
Thanks,
both.
Sammy.
Bye.
Blasco, I mean, if it's not apparent, I love Linktree.
Big
So
fan.
many great features. It's one of those tools where I almost feel like every time I go back in to use it for a purpose, I discover something new that I really hadn't paid attention to.
That's exactly right.
Something in a client or something that I'm doing in a marketing cycle, I'm like, oh, wait a second. That feature that I've never had a need to use before, now I can actually use it because I have a specific need for it. It's just one of those, it's one of those tools I love because I keep finding new things in it.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. And that's what I was saying is like, I log in and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They tweaked this feature for the better. And I log in pretty often. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in somebody's Linktree every day.
Yeah.
Doing something. If it's not just looking at a stat number, adding a new link. And I really do want to encourage people, get in there and do it at the free level. You can really do so much at the free level of Linktree.
Agreed.
You don't think you're gonna just get turned off because you can only do 2 things or you've got a 3-day free trial and then you're gonna have to start paying. Get in there, do it for free, and maybe at some point you'll finally realize I could pay for that feature because I really want it.
Rob Zombie still uses the free version, so hey, look,
it works.
He's a massive artist with like 3 bazillion Instagram followers, and he uses the free one. And functionally, people can still figure out where to buy his records, right? So it works.
Yeah, it is. You really got to. If the last time you thought of Linktree was I needed to put more links in an Instagram post, you got to go back to Linktree and look at all of the integrations they've got. It's really slick now. Trust me, really slick. All right. I'm going to throw a homework question out. Leave a comment. If you're an active Linktree user, what's your favorite feature within Linktree? Free, premium, I don't care. What do you love to use Linktree for? Because I'm always looking for inspiration on new things and new ways I can use something. And again, comes from other artists. I'll often see how another artist uses something, go, that could work for me. So that's your homework for this week's episode. Leave a comment and a quick shout out once again. Thank you to Bruce, Jeremy, everybody at Hypebot and Bands in Town for all your continued support. And that's it. Music Biz Weekly podcast. We'll see everybody next week.
Every month, thousands of musicians and industry professionals listen to the Music Biz Weekly podcast. If you have a product or service and would like to reach this audience, get in touch with Michael to discuss sponsorship opportunities.
Voices for the Music Biz Weekly podcast provided by LarryDavisVoice.com.